Welcome all. Today we are just going to see about the topics are AI techniques, AI model, problem solving techniques. So first we'll be seeing about AI techniques. So in artificial intelligence, the methods are used to make computers solve problems, reason, learning and make decision in similar way to humans. The three most important AI techniques are first is search, use of knowledge, and abstraction. So first we'll be going with search. Search is a technique used for finding a solution by exploring different possible actions until the goal is reached. When there is no direct method to solve a problem, AI system use searching algorithm to examine the various possible ways and choosing the best optimal solutions for it. So the working principle for search. First of all, it will be starts with the initial state. Next, generate the possible actions. Move to the new states. Check whether the goal is reached or not. Continue till searching until the solution is found. So let me take it as an example of maze problem. So initially a robo is placed at the entrance of the maze and must find the exit. There are so many paths or so many ways are available in that particular path. Initial state that will be of an entrance, goal state that will be of an exit, operators that can be of either move down, up and left and right. The robo explores the different path until it reaches the exit. So the real-time applications of searching and finding the AI techniques is route finding in Google Maps, chess playing programs, robo navigation, puzzle solving and game playing AI. The advantages of search that can be solved only with the problems even when there are no direct solution is known. Requires only the definition of all possible actions or operator occurs. Applicable in a very wide variety of problems. Disadvantages. While using of search space, it may lead to extremely large. Can consume large amount of time and memory. Must not guarantee that the optimal solution without specific algorithm can be used or not. So moving to the next slide. So use of knowledge. So the knowledge based AI solves the problem by storing the facts, rules and relationship instead of searching blindly. The more knowledge available, the more intelligently the system can make the decision. Why knowledge is more important? Human experts solve problems quickly because they have used their knowledge and experience. Similarly, we will be using of AI system that can store the knowledge and use of reason and making the decision of it. The good example of knowledge that can be involved in the knowledge base as a medical diagnosis system. If fever and cough, then it will be a flu. If chest pain occurs, it will be of an heart disease. Patient symptoms will be of fever and cough, and inference will be of patient may have flu. Instead of checking each and every diseases, the system use knowledge to reach the conclusion quickly. So let me see the characteristics of knowledge representation and its knowledge. First, it can be captures the generalization. So knowledge should represent general rules rather than the individual cases. Example, bird 1 can fly, bird 2 can fly, bird 3 can fly. So storing the information, the knowledge base, all the birds can fly. It saves in the memory and simplifies the updates. Second, understandable by humans. So knowledge must represented in the form that experts can easily understand and modify. Example point of view, if temperature greater than 100 degrees Celsius, then water boils. This rule will be easy for humans to read and verify. Easy to modify, knowledge should have easy to update whenever the condition change. Reduces the search space. Knowledge helps eliminate impossible solution and focus on to the relevant ones. Useful for even whenever the term is completed or incomplete. So AI can still make a reasonable decision even when all the information is not available. So let me take it as a real-time example. A weather forecasting system predicts the rain using available data even through the complete atmospheric information is not known. So the real-time applications that can be expert view in the terms of AI techniques of knowledge, expert system, medical diagnosis, recommendation system, virtual assistant, and financial decision support. The advantages is so faster decision making, reduces the unnecessary searching, expert reasoning, and it is also explain the decision of it. Disadvantages will be of required domain experts, knowledge may become outdated and building a knowledge base difficult. Moving to the third point, it is an abstraction. So abstraction we will be using in the object oriented characteristics concept. It's a process of focusing an important feature of a problem while ignoring unnecessary details. It simplifies the complex problem and makes the easier to solve. Why we are using of abstraction? In real world problem, it have contains the enormous amount of information. Not all information is relevant. Abstraction help the artificial intelligence to concentrate only on what matter it focus on. So the good example that we are just going for abstraction is map navigation. A road map shows the road, cities and distances. It ignores tree location, building colors, people's names. These details are unnecessary for navigation. There are two different types of abstraction will be there in an AI techniques. One is high level abstraction and other one is low level abstraction. High level abstraction, no concern about the specific routes. Travel from Chennai to Bangalore. Whereas low level abstraction, it will be gather the more detailed information. Taking NH 48, turn left at the junction, travel for 5 kilometers. So the advantages of abstraction will be of simple to simplifies to complex problem, reduces the memory requirement, improves the processing speed and makes over the reasoning easier. Disadvantages will be important details must be lost, oversimplification can provide the incorrect solutions, select the right level of abstraction that is more difficult for use of it. So this is about it. So to overview, search will be of finding the solution, knowledge will be of using the stored experience, abstraction will be of focus on the important details. Next. So here some of the important method that exploits the knowledge that can be represented in the way of AI techniques. So the first is knowledge captures generalization. So generally knowledge should represent general rules rather than storing every individual fact separately. So we can take it as an example. Instead of storing sparrow can fly, pigeon can fly, even parrot can also fly. So most birds can fly. So general rule will be most birds can fly. Saves memory and making the reasoning faster. Second point, it can be understood by the people who must provide it. Knowledge should be represented in a way that humans can easily read, understand and update. The example, if temperature greater than 100 degrees Celsius, then water boils. The rule is simple and understandable by the scientists and engineers. So third point, it can be easily be modified to correct the errors. So since it is knowledge representation that allows to easily update when a mistakes are found or conditions change. Example, if any an expert system contains a fever then malaria and this rule is found to be inaccurate, it can be changed to a fever and mosquito exposure then malaria. The system remains accurate and up to date. It can be used in many situations even if it is not complete. A system should still work reasonably when even when all information is unavailable. Next is it helps narrow the range of possibilities. So since it is reduced the number of options that need to consider make problem solving faster. So for example, if a patient has a broken bone, a medical expert system will focus on orthopedic condition rather than checking the every disease in a database. So it is reduces the search time and improves the efficiency for it. So this is about the some of the key method and techniques that can be used in the AI techniques. So apart from that, So there will be of some other importance of it. So it is a method for organizing and using knowledge to so that computer can solve problems intelligently. So the first will be of the characteristics that can be go with it. Knowledge captures generalization. So instead of storing every situation separately, similar situations are grouped together using some common rules. Knowledge can be understood by the people. So the knowledge representation should be easy for humans to read, understand and provide. So knowledge must be supplied by every human experts. In many AI applications, knowledge cannot be collected automatically and must come from the experts of it. So knowledge can be modified easily. So AI system operate in changing the environment. So knowledge must be easy to update. So tax rule changes from 10 percentage to 12 percentage. So since it is of knowledge can be used even if it is incomplete, AI system that can be still function and use some information is missing or uncertain. The good example, a weather forecasting system may predict rain even if some sensor readings are unavailable. Knowledge helps to reduce the search space, but whenever diagnosing the patient with a chest pain, a medical AI focuses on heart-related diseases instead of considering every diseases. So the real-time good example will be of search-based program. So the computer examines all the future moves before making the decision. So play much better finds winning moves. More computational time it requires for moving the chess coins, which will be often drawbacks of the particular thing. So this is of thing. So the coming to the AI techniques summarizable. So it is a way of representing and using knowledge. So it will be of generalized, understandable, modifiable, usable, even when it is complete or incomplete. The capable of reducing the search space is a good example for it. So up next is the important topic is problem solving in AI. So problem solving in AI. So it is one of the most important applications of artificial intelligence. It involves finding a sequence of actions that transfers the initial state into a desired goal state. So to solve the problem using AI, first of all, you are just going to deal with first is define the problem clearly. Identify the initial state, define the goal state, determine the possible action, apply a search technique to find the best solution. The example will be of in Sudoku. The objective is to fill 9 cross 9 grid with the numbers from 1 to 9 such that each row contains numbers 1 to 9 without repetition. Each column contains numbers 1 to 9 without repetition. Each 3 cross 3 box contains numbers 1 to 9 without repetition. So an AI system tries different number placement and searches for valid solution while satisfying all constraints. The good example with the real time will be of chess, traveling salesman problem, Tower of Hanoi, water jug problem, and N-Queen's problem. We can take it as an example as traveling salesman problem. So the problem will be a salesman must visit multiple cities exactly once and return to the starting city while minimizing the traveling distance. So the ultimate goal of AI will be of find the shortest possible route. Applications will be of delivering, routing, logistics, and transportation planning. The goal will be there, and finally, we are just going to solve the problem for the particular solution, estimate the cost along to the shortest path. Wherever you are just going to start, you will be traversing each and every node of it, and finally reach with the particular destination. So whenever we are just going to start with the A, there will be of different nodes like A, B, C, D, E. So always we are just going to start with the starting node and initial node with A and ends with the initial node A. So that about the main concept of traveling salesman problem. So the example will be of delivery companies optimize routes to reduce fuel and traveling cost. So the other example will be of Tower of Hanoi. So move a stack of disk from one rod to another rod while moving only one disk at a time, never placing a larger disk on a smaller disk. A goal will be of find the minimum number of moves. So here there will be a three disk will be there. So from the three disk we are just going to start with the initial position and reach the particular position of the goal state. So whenever we are just going to move the disk, will be move accordingly, and finally you want to reach the destination, how much moves that can be done with it. So recursion learning and planning algorithms are the good example of it. So this is about it. And finally the problem searching will be, searching is the process of finding a solution by exploring the possible states of a problem until the goal is reached. It is one of the most widely used technique in AI. Why searching is needed? Many problems do not have a direct solution, but AI system must provide and explore different possibilities before finding the correct answer. So whenever searching is done, it want to be find the optimal solution for it. How searching works? It starts with the initial state, generate the possible next three states, and evaluate the each state of it. Continue exploring until the goal state is found. Example: finding the route from Chennai to Bangalore. Initial state will be of Chennai, goal state will be of Bengaluru, and operator will be of different roads and highways. The search algorithm explains and explores the routes and selects the best path. So searching components will be of initial state, it will be of an starting point of the problem. Example, starting point will be of route finding the problem. Goal state will be of desired final state. Example will be of destination city. Operators will be of action that move from one state to another. Example will be of move right, left, fill the jug and move the chess pieces. And state space, the collection of all possible state that can be reached. So advantages will be of can solve complex problems, does not require a predefined solution, applicable to the many domains. So forms the basis of all many A applications or techniques. Disadvantages will be large search space requires significant time. High memory consumption, may not always find the optimal solutions for it. Next, we'll be moving to the problem solving in AI with the diagrammatic explanation. So problems are the issues which comes across any system. For each and every problem, there will be a solution to solve the particular problem. So this is the diagrammatic representation of problem solving, including five steps. First is defining the problem, analyzing the problem, identification of a solutions, choosing the solution, implementation. So it describes and it is used to solve the problem systematically. First will be used of defining the problem. The first step is to clearly identify and describes the problem. So what is problem? What is the goal? What are the constraints? If you take it as an example of water jug problem, the goal is to measure exactly 2 liters of water using 2 jugs. A clearly defined problem make it easier to find the clear solution. Analyzing the problem. After defining the problem, analyze all informations, constraints, and all possible actions. So activities that can be of study with the initial state, identify the goal state, determine the more possible operations or actions, understand the constraint. Example, in a chess, analyze the possible of pieces and position what position of pieces that can be moved, possible moves and opponent strategies. So next is identification of solutions. Generate all possible solutions or path that can lead to the goal. Activities will be of exploring the alternatives, search the state space, evaluate the different possibilities. Example, finding the root, finding a root causing or root finding the problem. Identify all possible routes before and between the source and destination. Provides the multiple operations for solving the problem. Choosing the solutions. Select the best solutions from the available alternatives. So selection will be of minimum cost, minimum time, maximum efficiency, and optimal result. So let me take it as an example for traveling salesman problem. Choose the route from which is having the shortest total distance. So ensures the effective most solution will be selected. So there will be of traveling from Chennai to Mumbai. So there will be of different routes are there. So which route will be traveled to reach sooner? Which route will be easiest to achieve the source to destination? and traveling will be of shortest path distance and choose the optimal solutions for it. That will be of a good example for it. And finally, implementation. Apply the choose solutions and achieve the desired goal. Execute the selected action, monitoring the result, verify that the goal is achieved, and robo follows the planned path to reach its destination. So why it is of implementation is important? It's transferred the planned solutions into the actual results. Finally, the flow will be of defining the problem, analyze the problem, identifying the solutions, choose the best solutions for it, and finally implement the solutions for it. Next, we'll be seeing the other concept of it. So, the broad characteristics of the AI problems. There are four different types of problems are there. Structured problem, unstructured problem, linear problem, non-linear problem. Structured problem is a problem that is clearly defined as known rules and usually has one correct solutions. So the characteristics that can be represented with the structured problem, well-defined initial and goal states, clear rules and constraints, solutions that can be found systematically, results are predictable. So the example will be of Sudoku, chess, tower of an eye, water jug problem. Let me take it as an chess. So it will be of clearly defined and it is a two-player game. The rules are well known and there will be of only correct solutions will be there. So there are two different types of problems are there: well structured problem and ill structured problem. Well structured problem, these problems generally yield with a single correct answer. So solving a mathematical equation, so 5 plus 7 equal to 12, finding the shortest path between the two cities. And the quadratic equation is also a good example for well structured problem. X square plus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. So we'll be finding the solution of x. So advantages will be easy to model and solve, suitable for AI search algorithms, solution can be verified easily. So the disadvantages will be in less world situation, real world situation, there will be of less common um, solutions will be occurred. So that is about it. So next will be of ill structured problem. So it does not have clearly defined solution or have multiple acceptable solutions. The real time characteristics that can be real with a goal may be a vague, constraint may be unclear, more than one solution may exist, human judgment is often required. So business decision making, designing a new product, writing a research paper, career planning is a good example for it. So advantages will be represents the real world situation, encourages the creative solution. Disadvantages will be of difficult to model, no guaranteed correct action. So next will be second one, unstructured problem. Unstructured problem is very difficult to define because the information, goals and constraints are unclear. Characteristics of unstructured problem: problem formation itself it is very difficult, ambiguous and uncertain, requires expert knowledge and reasoning, often lacks a standard solution process. So the good example for unstructured problem: predicting stock market movements, many factors affects the outcome, exact prediction is almost impossible. Advantages will be can address complex real world issue, disadvantages will be extremely difficult to solve, high uncertainty risk. Linear problem, linear problem will be of an direct and predictable relationship between both input and output. Whenever the characteristics will be there, so clear path to the solution, cause and effect relationship will be straightforward, decision can be taken only by step. So example with the real time is mathematical calculation. So whenever we are just going to solve the problem, so we'll be solving only by step. So let we want to prove by right hand side equal to left hand side. So student grading system and classification problem that can be used only with machine learning and deep learning techniques. So if mark greater than 50, it will be of the student is pass. If mark less than equal to 50, it is fail. The decision is simple and direct. Advantages easy to understand and fast computation. Disadvantages will be of cannot represent complex relationship. Next will be of non-linear problem. So non-linear problem is a complex relationship between input and output where small changes in the input may produce large or unpredictable changes in the output. So here the complex interaction among the variables using of multiple possible outcomes, future decision depend on previous decision, difficult to predict the behavior, that are the characteristics. So example will be of temperature, humidity, wind and pressure interact in complex ways. These are and all the weather prediction. A small change in one factor can significantly affect the forecast. Advantages will be models real world situations are more accurate, and complex relation it is very difficult to handle. So difficult to solve the complex problem in a particular situation. So structured problem clearly defined and with the correct solution. Ill structured problem, no single correct solutions. Unstructured problem, difficult to define and ambiguous. Linear problem, direct relationship between input and output. Non-linear problem, complex relationship where outcomes are difficult to predict. So this is about the overview of broad categorization of AA problem. Next. So here it has been classified with you typical well structured problem, typical ill structured problem. So typical well structured problem, the test will be of order steps that can be correct or incorrect. So well structured problem, there will be of clear procedure or sequence of steps. The rules are well defined, the solutions are typed and tested objectively. The answer is either correct or incorrect. So the working principle will be the follow the ordered steps, apply the rules, check the results, determine whether the solution is correct or not. So solve 5 into 2. So we'll be getting the multiplication result as 20. 20 is correct. Any other answer, it is of incorrect. So ill structured problem, so there will be of no ordered steps, analysis for correctness. So there will be of a no fixed sequence of steps, multiple solutions may exist, the solution must be analyzed and evaluated, there is an often no single correct answer. So how to work? So explore the different approaches, generate possible solution, analyze each and every solution, judge whether it is an appropriate or effective solutions of it. So the real time example will be of career planning. So which career should a student chooses? Possible choices will be engineering, law, medicine, business and research. No answer is absolutely correct or incorrect. The decision that can depends on interest, skills, opportunities and goals of it. So this is about the explanation how we are just going to characterize with the AA problem. So next we will be moving to AI model. So before going to this diagram, what is meant by model? Model will be of discovering. So and complexity will be of the we are just going to mention how we are just going to represent each and every diagram according to it. So discovering the vertical axis, complexity will be of horizontal axis. So first the most important aspect will be of building the modeling the problem. So the Dunker introduced the maze hypothesis. So the maze will be of rabbit which is going to find the each and every point path and reaching the from the source to destination. So if it is struck again it will be goes to the initial position and check whether what position will be there and finally it will be reaching the destination of it. First there are different types of blocks over there in a model and discovery. Let me see one by one. So knowledge based building model. So this type of an approach here, the expert provides the knowledge, rules, facts which is used to build a model for the problem domain. So the characteristics will be uses a human expertise, knowledge is explicitly represented and less complex compared to AI applications. Example will be of medical expert analysis. So rules will be if fever and cold and cough, then it will be of flu. If chest pain, then heart diseases. These are the inference that can be provided by the doctors and stored in the knowledge base. So next block will be of AI application block. So that will be often right top right. So AI techniques use it to create intelligent application that can use it to solve complex real world problem. Characteristics will be of more complex, use reasoning, learning and decision making. Applies AI model in practice. So the real time example will be of self driving cars, chatbot, recommendation system and medical diagnosis system. So it can be involved with high complex problems automatically. Next is down to the discover relationship. So the goal is to discover hidden relationship, pattern or rules from the available data. So it can be focuses on learning from the data, finds the associate between the variables, less complex than the full AI applications. So the example will be of customer can buy a bread, often buy butter. The relationship is discovered with the sales data, helps to generate the new knowledge from the existing data. Finally, we can come with the mapping. So it refers the relationship between both input and output. So it learns from the input and output patterns often used in machine learning as well as deep learning concepts. It have higher complexity. So example we can take it as input will be of study hours, attendance and assignment scores. Output will be final grade. So it will be learns the mapping between input and output. The other example will be of speech tends to text, image will be of object name, symptoms will be of disease. So the more advantages will be of prediction and classification. So model and discover. So generally model can be used with the existing knowledge, builds the representation of the system, whereas discover learns the new knowledge from the data, finding the hidden pattern as well as the relationship. So moving to the left and right, complexity increases, problem becomes more difficult. That is why we are just going with the advanced AI techniques that is we can require in a AI model. So moving to the next content, there will be of some important key terms that can be available with your AI model. So first is NLP. So we will be using of enabling the computer to understand, interpret and generate human language, man-made machine dialogue. It is also refers the communication between the human and computer using natural language. So why these and all important? So since the computers can be understand programming language and commands, NLP enabled computers to interact with the humans in a more natural way. ChatGPT, Siri, Alexa, machine translation program and applications will be of language translation is more important. So formal model proposed to the solve AI problems. So nowadays the researchers developed a formal mathematical and logical model to represent and solve AI problems systematically. So examples will be state space model, logic based model, search model and knowledge model. So state space model that can be represented with the problems as the states and transition. Waterjug problem is a good example. Logic based model using of logical rules and inference, if rain then wet roads. Search model explore the possible solution systematically. So example will be of breadth first search and depth first search. Knowledge representation model will be stored and use expert knowledge and that is of with the expert system. And next final point will be human behavior and psychological study. So generally it will be based on the dynamic model for the creative problem solving. So researchers begin with human thinking, learning and problem solving process. So to design more intelligent AI system. So instead of adopting a fixed rules, AI can generate starting learning from the experience, adapting to the new situations of it. So you'll be of having a inductive learning. So that can be of representative dog has four legs, cat has four legs, horse has four legs. Many animals will be having four legs. So it will be having a creative problem solving, learning from the experience and generating the new ideas adapting to the unfair situations. So this is about the AI model. Next we will be moving to two different types of AI model. One is semiotic model and another one is statistical model. Semiotic model, so it is based on the study of signs, symbols, meaning and communication. It focuses on how human uses signs and languages to represent and communicate information. The term semiotics generally it can be indicated with the study of signs and signification. So the human can communicate using a words, sounds, symbols, gestures, images. The semantic model helps AI understand the meaning behind these signs. So what is meant by sign here? So analyze and anything that conveys with a meaning. So the example is traffic light, words, hand gestures, and emojis. What is meant by code here? A set of rules that gives some meanings to signs. Red traffic light, it can be of stop. Green traffic light, it can be of go. So the thumb give expression, it will be of approval. The code indicates that A helps to whatever the sign is represents. So the applications will be of NLP, speech recognition, chatbot, and sign language recognition. So helps AI understand human communication. Also useful for language and simple interpretations are the advantages. So in which the meaning may vary dependent on context, difficult to handle ambiguity and cultural differences are the disadvantages of it. So moving to the second model, it is of statistical model. So it represents relationship among the variables using mathematical and statistical techniques. It uses probability that make a predictions or a decision under uncertainty. So instead of using a fixed rules, statistical model learn patterns from the data and estimate the likelihood of different outcomes. So it will be of collecting the work and collecting the data based on the work, analyze the pattern, calculate the probabilities and predict the future outcomes. So here we'll be using of probability density functions which describes the different value within the data set. Heights of the students and weights of the people will be the good example for measuring the PDF. Applications will be machine learning, deep learning, weather forecasting, medical diagnosis, and recommendation system. Can handle the uncertainty that can learn from the data automatically, suitable for the large data sets. Provides the probabilistic predictions. These are the advantages of it. Moving to the disadvantage, it requires a large amount of data. Prediction may or not always be accurate. It depends only on the data quality results. So this is about the AI models types. So next we'll be moving about the data acquisition and learning aspects in AI. So there are 5 different types of data acquisition and learning aspect. One is knowledge discovery, data mining and machine learning. Second one is COLT, computational learning theory. Third one, neural and evolutionary computation. Fourth one is intelligent agent and multi-agent system. Fifth one is multi-perspective integrated intelligence. Moving to the first one, knowledge discovery. Knowledge discovery is the process of exacting useful patterns, relationship, and knowledge from the large amount of data. So it involves data mining and machine learning. Data mining, we already know about it. It's a process of finding hidden patterns and relationship in large data sets. So let me take this as a real-time example. A supermarket analyzes customer purchases and discovers customers who buy a bread often buy butter. This hidden intention relationship helps improve sales strategies. Machine learning. So it enables the computers to learn the data and improves the performance without being explicitly programmed. An email learns to identify the spam emails by analyzing previously labeled emails. So these are the good examples for data mining and machine learning, which can be considered as a knowledge discovery. So extracts valuable knowledge from the large data and supports a better decision making. So this will be comes with the knowledge discovery. So moving to the second one, that is of COLT, called computational learning theory. So it studies the mathematical foundation of machine learning. Can the machine learning can be a task? How much the data can be needed? How accurate the learning it be? So the key idea will be of providing the COLT will be of theoretical model for understanding how learning algorithm works. Example, called helps to determine how many training examples are required and how accurately the model can classify the future emails. So it provides the mathematical guarantees for the learning system and helps to improve the learning algorithm in the way that machine learning research and pattern recognition and algorithm design, which can be used in the real-time applications. Moving to the third one, neural and evolutionary computation. So it is based on ANN, artificial neural network, which inspired by the human brain as well as the neurons. So artificial neurons are connected together The network learns from the example. It adjusts the connection to improve the predictions. Example, input picture of a cat, output will be of cat. So the neuron cat network learns from thousands of images which image that the picture represents that can be of image recognition. Applications will be medical diagnosis, natural language processing, and image recognition and speech recognition are the good examples for it. Next is evolutionary computation. So it is an inspired by the biological evolution and natural selection. Generally, the working principle for evolutionary computation, it will be generates the multiple solution, evaluate each and every solution based on the best solution, create the improved solution, and repeats the optimal solution and good solutions for it for finding the answer of it. So let me take it as an example. Finding the shortest route for delivery vehicles. The algorithm will be used for routing for finding the best one. So the optimization problem, scheduling, robotics are the examples of and applications for this one. Finding the good solutions for the complex problem works well with the traditional methods that can be failed with it. So that are the good examples for the evolutionary computation. Moving to the next concept, it is of intelligent agent and multi-agent system. So intelligent agent is an agent that can perceive its environment, makes decision, and performs action to the achieve the goal for it. So good example will be of vacuum robo cleaner. It detects the obstacles, plans a path, cleans the room automatically. Finally, it will be the how the room can be cleaned with its perceive its environment and make decision accordingly. So perception according to it and decision and action will be there. So next will be of multi-agent system. So it consists of multiple intelligent agents working together are completing to solve the problems. So the good example will be of traffic management system. One agent can control a traffic signal. Other agent communicate and coordinate with the traffic flow. So the faster problem solving with better scalability that supports the distributed decision making is an advantage for it. And applications will be of robotics, e-commerce, and distributed systems are the applications for it. And moving to the last part, multi-perspective integrated intelligence. So it combines the multiple AI approaches to solve the problem more effectively. Instead of relying the one technique, it integrates the machine learning, knowledge-based system, neural networks, fuzzy logic, and evaluationary algorithms. We can take it as example for multi-perspective integrated intelligence. Self-driving car is a good example. It uses neural network, machine learning, knowledge-based sensor. Neural network that the object can be recognized. Machine learning will be used to predict the traffic behavior. Knowledge-based intent, it will be regulate the traffic rules. Sensors will be of environment perceptions. All the AI performance or perspectives work together to make the intelligent decision based on the multiple perspective intelligence. So the advantages will be of more accurate decisions, better handling of complex problem, combines the strengths of multiple AI techniques. So moving to it, knowledge discovery, extracting the useful information from large data set. COLT, computational learning theory, will be of mathematical study of machine learning and learning algorithms. Neural computation, it is of represent with brain inspired learning using neural networks. Evolutionary computation, optimization based on natural evaluation. Intelligent agent that can be of represented with autonomous system that can perceive and act. And multiple agent system which can be agent, different types of agent that can be working together. Multi-perspective integrated intelligence combines the several AI techniques to achieve better intelligence and better decision making. So next is problem solving process. So the term problem is used in a situation when the desired objective is not obvious. Problem solving is the process of generating the solution for the given situation of it. Let me see the diagram of it. So it is a problem solving process. How there are different blocks are there. Problem identification, explore information, create KB, knowledge base, action selection, intermediate stage, and goal state. Let me see one by one. First step is problem identification. This is first step of the problem is recognized and clearly defined. what is the problem, what is the goal, what constraint it can be exist. So the real time example that can be, we can use it as an route finding problem. The task is to find the shortest path from Chennai to Kolkata. How, what is the way, what is the route, and how to find the shortest path between them. So clearly defined problem helps to finding the effective solution of it. Next is exploring the information. So the artificial intelligence system gathers all relevant information about the problem. First of all, it will be collecting the data, studying the constraints, understand the environment, and identifying the available resources. Example will be of medical diagnosis is a good example. Information such as symptoms, patient history, and the test results is collected. So it provides the knowledge required to solve the problem. Third one will be of create a KB, that is of knowledge base. It's used to create and also store the facts, rules, and relationship related to the problem. So example will be medical expert system. If fever and cough, it can be represented as a flu. If chest pain, it can be recognized as an heart disease. These rules are stored in the KB. The knowledge base helps the AI system reason and make a decision of it. Action selection. So AI chooses the most appropriate action based on available knowledge. So in a chess game, the AI evaluates possible moves and selects the best move. To decide the next step, that AI can be moved with closer to the goal. Intermediate states. So these are the temporary states encountered while moving from the initial state to the goal state. So we can take it as a real-time example of Tower of Hanoi problem. Moving the disk from the rods creates several intermediate states before reaching the final arrangement. So wherever the progress it will be there, it can be moved according to the solution. Finally, there will be often goal state. So it is a desired final outcome of the problem solving process. Sudoku is a good example that can be moved with a complete correctly answer. Robot reaches the source to destination, and checkmate from either a player 1 or player 2 for winning in a chess game indicates the problem can be successfully solved and winning at the moment of it. So problem identification, explore information, create a knowledge base, action selection, intermediate states, and goal state. So finally it will be of begins with identifying the problem, and it will be reaching the finally goal state to it to achieve the goal of it. So next we'll be moving about the next representation, a simplified roadmap of a part of Romania. So this diagram widely used in artificial intelligence to represent and explain about the state space search and search algorithm like BFS, DFS, UCS, greedy search, and A star algorithm. So what does the diagram represents? So there will be of cities will be there, roads will be there, number of roads will be there. Cities intents it will be of nodes that can be represented as in states. Roads will be of represents possible actions that will be of edges. Distance will be of cost between each and every cities in a kilometer. So finding the best route from the Arad to the Birchseret. Okay, this is a good example. So states will be of each city is considered as an state. Arad, Zerid, Zebu, Buchard is an example. Initial state will be of starting with Arad. Goal state will be of Bucharest. So the operation will be the possible action or moving from one city to the neighborest city. The possible actions go to Zerid, go to Zebu, go to Timisoara. The path cost will be each road have an associated with the cost distance. Arad will be of Zirain 75 kilometers. Arad with Zibu 140 kilometers. Zibu with the Fagros 99 kilometers. The total path cost in the sum of distances will be of, according to it, we are just going to calculate. So for each and every calculation, there will be of some kilometers range which can be identified with 450 or 420, and the state space representation, all possible states that can be traversed, all possible transition the via the roads can be calculated, all possible paths that can be calculated to find the exact goal of it by using the different concept of BFS, DFS, UCS, and greedy bus search or A star search. We can find and analyze the problem. Why it is important? Because of the problem formulation, state space representation, searching techniques, path finding, and cost optimization, We are just going to find from the initial state to final state. So it is also used to represent the state space problem where the cities are states, roads are actions, distance or cost, and the objective is to find the optimal path from the initial state Arad to the goal state bootstrap using the AI search algorithm. Next, we will be having the components of problem. So initially the components will be of, it can be described with initial state. So initial state is a starting point from the agent being solved the problem. It is also represents the current situation from the agent. So previously we have been see about the Romania map initial state in the Arad. So next is the action. Action will be of actions or most possible moves apply available to the agent in a particular state. So it can be written all the actions can be performed in a state yes when the agent is Arad, state of in Arad. So transition model. The transition model describes the result of performing an action in a particular state. It can be represented with the result of S comma A. S is in current state, A is an action. So next is an successor. So successor will be of a state reached the current state using one action. So in Subiu, in Temeria, in Zirind, the transition model tells the agent what happens each and every action to it. State space will be of, so the state space is the collection of all the states that can be reached from the initial state through the any sequence of actions, all possible states and all possible paths. So graph representation. So the state space is represented as a graph. Nodes can be represented of states or a city. Edges will be of action or a roads. Example will be of Arad Sibiu represents the action. Go Sibiu. The search algorithm explores the state space to find the solution. Next is goal test. The goal test checks whether the current state is in the desired goal state. So goal will be of reach Bucharest, goal state will be of in Bucharest, goal test will be if current state equal to in of Bucharest, goal achieved, else continue the search. The goal state test the agent whenever the stop searching can be flow according to the searching concept of it. Next is path cost. Path cost function assigns a numerical cost to each and every path. The agent also tries to find the path with the lowest cost. The cost of moving from one state to another is in step cost. It is represented from the value of C of S comma A comma Y, where S is in current state, A is an action, Y is a resulting state. So total path cost that can be calculated from the sum of all step cost. The path will be Arad, Sibiu, Rimuku, Vilsia, Pestia, and Bucharest. So which will be a 418 kilometers. The path cost helps the agent to choose the most efficient route. And finally, to moving to the solution, it is a sequence of action that takes an agent from the initial state to the goal state. So action sequence will be of go of Sibiu, go of Rimincu, Vilsia, go of Pitista, and go of Bucharest. So find the optimal solution is a solution which is used to calculating the lowest path cost among all possible solution and all possible concept of it. This is about the example point of view. Next is formulating the problem. So formulating the problem, a problem of AI is formulated using an initial state, action, transition model, state space, goal test, and path cost function. So a solution is a sequence of action leading to the goal state, and the optimal solution is one with the minimal path cost of it. So we'll be seeing the diagram of it. So how the problem formulation before solving it. So it can be helps the AI to understand the goal, available action, and possible states. Problem identification and problem definition. So it is in first step, it is used to clearly identify and define the problem. So what is to be solved, what are the condition, what is the initial condition, and what is the specification of achievable objective. What is to be solved? The problem, it is defined, it is a problem itself. Find the shortest route, solve the Sudoku problem, diagnose a disease. To clearly understand the task, what are the initial conditions? So it describes the starting state of the problem. It to know where the problem solving process begins. What are the conditions that would arise from the action. This describes about the effect of performing action. So to understand how the action can change the in the current state. So what is the specification of achievable objective? This defines the goal state. Reach the Bucharest to know how the and how and when the problem has been successfully solved. So next we'll be moving to the next block called problem space. So it consists of initial state, goal state, all possible action, and it is also deal with the all possible parts of the goal. It describes about the entire problem environment. So in a map we already saw cities will be of states, roads will be of action. All possible routes from the problem space. It provides the all possible solution alternative. Next will be of task knowledge. So it refers the domain specific knowledge required to solve the problem efficiently. For finding the route map for medical diagnosis, symptoms, diseases and medical rules will be there for identifying what type of diseases it can be affected. Helps the AI makes intelligent decision and avoid unnecessary searching for it. And final block will be of state space. The state space will be a collection of states reachable from the initial state through the valid action. Usually this state space that can be represented using a graph. One through the nodes it can be represented as states, one through the edges that can be represented as action. So this is a search algorithm explores the state space to finding the solution of it. So problem identification and definition, problem space, task knowledge, state space, and the finally solution of it. So it is a general common thing and it can be achieved the searching algorithm for finding the problem to the solution of it. Next is toy problem. Toy problem is can be intended to illustrate to or exercise the various problem solving methods. It can be of concise exact description, whereas real world problem is one whose the solution people can care about it, and such a problem cannot be tend with a single upon agreed description, but we can have the general flavor of formulation. So let me take it as a good example. So we can take it as an block problem that is of consider the three cells. The four cell bond will filled with a single digit and one can be with a blank digit. The game is on with the change position on the digit and the blank cell can be represented with new board position. The rule of the game is the blank can change the position with the digit horizontal and vertical movement. So initial state will be of 1, 2, 3 it is given. So initial and final state will be of 2, 1, 3. So we can move according to the problem is to reach the initial state to final state with minimum number of moves. So each and everything that can be moved in a circle or left or right, up or down, whatever the position we'll be using with the initial state. According to the scenario, we are just going to move one by one. So what is the condition is that so 2 will be go down, 1 will be go up and 3 will be go up. And again it will be moving in a 2, 1 and 3. So it takes a minimum of 3 to 4 steps. According to that we are just going to start with the initial state according to the state space representation and complete with the final goal of it. So this is the conditions of block 3 problem. So problem types. So there are different types are available in the problems. There are deterministic or observable. It can be represented as a single state problem, non-observable multiple state problem, and non-deterministic or partially observable unknown state space. So let me see one by one. So deterministic or fully observable that can be represented as a single state problem. So the agent can completely observe the current state of the environment. So the result of each and every action is known and it can be predictable. Performing an action which leads to one definite next state. So there is no uncertainty about the what will happen to the action. So even the agent knows exactly where it is there. The problem can generated and represented by the single state at any point of time. So this is represented as an single state problem. So fully observable, we already know about it. So the agent can complete information about the environment. A chess player can see all pieces of board. Deterministic, each action produces exactly one predictable outcome. If you move a chess piece from one square to another, the result is known. So predictable environment, no randomness or uncertainty exists. So single state problem and representation that can be of, since the current state is completely known, the agent only knows to track only one state of it. So that is an example, and advantages will be of easy to model and solve, solutions path are predictable, less communication and computational complexity will be occurs more over there. So it is of an agent has complete knowledge about the current state, and every action leads to the single predictable next state without any uncertainty. So example will be of vacuum cleaner with the sensors, chess and route finding problem. Moving to the next concept, non-observable or conformant problem over there. So it is also said to be as an multi-state problem. So a problem in which a agent has no information about the current state or environment. The agent cannot observe where it is, what does the environment looks like, whether the action can be succeeded. Because the exact state is unknown, the agent must consider multiple possible states simultaneously. It is said to be as an multiple state problem. So the agent must find the sequence of action that works correctly even without knowing the current state of it. So here no sensors will be used in the environment. Uncertainty about the state. The agent does not know about the exact location or condition. Multiple possible states. The agent must keep track of all possible state and then maybe might know. So that is an next part of it. So since it is a example, so we can tell the multiple state problem that can be represented with the useful for whenever the sensor are unavailable, can operate in an uncertainty environment, and it can be represented with a more realistic with fully observable problems. So disadvantages will be uncertainty, which will be of high, largest search space, difficult to guarantee the success. So it's non-observable will be of one in which the agent has no information about the current state of the environment. Since the exact state is unknown, the agent must consider multiple possible states and choose the action that achieves the goal despite uncertainty. A vacuum cleaner without sensors is a good example and common example for it. Moving to the next example, it will be of a non-deterministic, it is of partially observable problem. So the outcome of an action is not completely predictable. The agent does not have complete knowledge of its environment. So sensors can provide some information about the current state. The agent must continuously observe and update its decision. So this is of partially observable problem. Agent can observe only the part of environment. So since it is partially observable, the agent can observe some information through sensors, but not everything. Uncertainty comes, the result of the action may vary. A person is an information received from the sensors about the current environment. So moving to the working principle and example of it. So it reaches the, so for example we can take it as an vacuum tube. So it moves forward, reaches the next room, encounters the obstacle, get delayed. The exact result may not always be beforehand. The effect of the action is uncertain. So that is a good example. If you take the other example, self-driving car, percept will be of camera, radar and GPS, and possible uncertainty will be of pedestrian movement, traffic condition, weather. So the car continuously updates its decision based on sensor data. So more realistic than fully observable problem, can adapt to the changing environment, uses feedback from the sensors, suitable for the real world AI systems. So it is disadvantages will be of more complex to solve the problem. Continuous sensing, it requires large spaces needed for it. So since it's that, so non-deterministic is one in which effect of action that can be uncertain, and the agent has only partial information about the environment. So the agent uses the percept obtained from the sensors to update its knowledge and choose the future action. A vacuum cleaner is an with a sensor is a common example for the non-deterministic or partial by problem. So this is about it. And fully observable, partially observable and unobservable is a good example. It has been given single fully observable, partially loading in a self-driving car, and a robo picking an obstacle is a good example, and single agent and multi-agent playing a chessboard or with a player, a robo. So competitive and cooperative. So there is an example for it. So the last state will be of an unknown state space problem. So it's a problem where the agent does not know all the possible state in advance. The agent does not affect the which can be unknown or partially known. The environment must be explored while solving the problem to it. The agent learns about the state space as it moves through it. So this is known as exploration problem because the agent has to discover the environment while searching a solutions. So the characteristics of unknown state space problem, the state space is unknown. The agent does not have a complete map of its environment. Effects of the action are unknown, so the agent cannot predict each and every exactly what happened after taking an action. So requires the exploration. The agent must gather information while acting. So learning during execution, the agent gradually builds the knowledge of its environment. The good example of unknown state space problem is online search. Whenever we are browsing or searching the internet, the user does not know all the available web pages. Clicking one link may reveal new information. New states, that is of website, are discovered during the searching process. Searching the query, open the web page, discover the new links, explore the more pages, finding the required information. So that is a good example for it. So it will be of useful in real time environment, can handle the new and changing situation, supports the autonomous exploration, and enables the learning adaptation. So this is a good example and advantages of it. So disadvantages will be of it requires exploration time and difficult to solve the complex problem, higher computational cost that cannot have no guarantee of finding the optimal solution immediately. So finally, with the summary of it, unknown state space problem in which the agent does not know all possible states or effects of the actions beforehand. The agent must explore the environment, gather information, and building the knowledge and searching for the solution. So, example which can we have saw real time with it online web search, robo exploration, and scheduling in an unfair environment. Thank you.